Hand me the money, I divvy the pie. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune. I'm flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe. And 40 on 50 is really the time. Why is you all on my phone like you want me? Like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side. I don't know if you bitches are thinking I'm blind. Cross on my crosses and dot on my eyes. Done with your efforts, I'm dealing with pressures. I know it's a lesson, that's word of the wise. Dubbing the mixes I'm mixing, I know I've been missing. I needed some personal time. Fuck all the pictures, dimensions. I don't with your digits, I mean it, I'm staying inside. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it.
She's a roller coaster, oh she's so flame. I'm burning up inside but I can feel no pain. I won't try to stop her, she can't be tamed. I'm so in love with her, I fall and try again. Get up and try, get up and try again. Get up and try again. Get up and try again. Love the way we are together, and can we always stay this way? And I wanna build my whole world with you and no one ever. And our love will make us so much better, and there will be no more lonely nights. Baby, if you let me try, I give you what you want. Girl, take it when you go blind. You say that I'm just wasting my time. You say I'm too hard to handle and full of doubts. Say that I should give you up, cause I'm one better, but baby you're not. Giving you up, no, no, I ain't giving you up. I got love and try, giving you up, no, no, I ain't giving you up. I got love and try, giving you up, no, no, I ain't giving you up, no, oh yeah, giving you up, no, no, I ain't giving you up, no. She's a roller coaster, oh she's a flame. I'm burning up inside but I can feel no pain. I won't try to stop her, she can't be tamed. I'm so in love with her, I fall and try again. Get up and try again. Get up and try again. Get up and try again. She's a roller coaster, oh she's a flame. I'm burning up inside but I can feel no pain. I won't try to stop her, she can't be tamed. I'm so in love with her, I fall and try again. Get up and try again.
See you at the top, it's been a while for you. Pick you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, yeah. I'm so handsome, all in Carmine's with my Benz, ooh, I'm so fancy. No romancing, got my baby and she right, she make you vanish. No time to play, got book dates. Had a plan, only had to wait. Always knew I'd make a way. Send a bill, they send a pay. Keep it real, keep the record straight. Keep it real, no time to fake. All authentic in my own lane. I am me till I'm in the grave. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Pick you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop. No, 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 no. I won't stop. I won't stop.
Yo, yo, yo! What's up, Dog Pound? Everybody in the house? Let's see, who's in the house today? I see John Lopez. I see Pickles. I see Simple Man. I see Pit Life. Good Eats with the Noob. Jacqueline and Dad. Who else is in here? Blue Smoke. What's cracking, Blue Smoke? All right, so guys, first off, before we get started, everybody hear me okay? Volume okay? Not too loud, not too low? If y'all hear me okay, pop sevens in the box. Good Eats with the Noob. Thank you, sir. Mr. Homeowner, how you doing? All right, all right. I see a 7. I see a 7. Okay, okay. All right, guys. So, first off, welcome. I'm glad you guys were able to join me tonight. Hey, if you're new to the channel, which I know a lot of you, I see a lot of these familiar faces in here for familiar names. I know you're not new, but in case you are new, welcome to the Dog Pound. That's what we are. I call my subscribers Dog Pound because I know you subscribe, right? Because if you haven't, you got to click on that logo down there and subscribe to the channel. Become part of the Dog Pound. And follow what's going on here at the Dawgfatha's Barbecue YouTube channel. So, guys, if you don't know, I do have an Instagram page. Make sure you get on over there and, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. You get a lot of content that I do that I don't always film everything that I could, but I may take a lot of pictures and post on IG. So make sure you're following me on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Facebook so you can get access to that behind the scenes content. All right? All right. So tell you what, hey, I decided I wanted to do a little live stream tonight and talk about some guidelines or some things to consider whenever you get ready to go buy a new pit. 4th of July is coming up, and a lot of people end up getting new grills, smokers, or whatever. And so, a lot of places have their different sales, and people want to go out and buy grills. So I figured, hey, let's talk about it. Let's see what we can come up with and say, hey, these are the things we probably need to look at whenever we're going to go out and buy a new grill. So that's going to be the focus of the conversation tonight. But tell you what, before we get into all of that, man, let's chat. Let's get to know each other. Let's hang out for a little bit. Hopefully everybody's got their beverage in hand. If you guys have seen the video that we did at Troy's house, at T. Roy Cook's house, Gene made up the jug. Wait, the jug. That's what's in this cup right here is the jug. It ain't no joke. Okay, so if you happen to see that video and you decide that you want to go do or make your own jug, be careful. Okay, you have been warned. All right, so guys, what's up? What's cracking? I see Os. Hey, Oso, brother, man, I apologize that I didn't get with you before we did the collaboration for the grill my cheese, hashtag grill my cheese. Man, I'm so sorry about that. I'm sorry about the whole miscommunication and all of that. And I will definitely make that up to you next time we do a collaboration. I will definitely reach out to you, brother, so we can get a collaboration. Hell, maybe me, you and I, maybe we might just do our own collaboration, man. Maybe get Brother James involved. So, again, man, I apologize for that. And, hey, I'll make it up to you, okay, brother? All right, but hey, welcome. I see Daddy Dutch. Daddy Dutch, thank you for being here. Welcome to the live stream, my man. Hey, Kent, how did you do? You had your barbecue competition this last weekend. So how did that go? I had the opportunity to actually go down to Seguin, and I got to meet up with Rick's Blackstone and Barbecue and Bill from Chicken Fried Barbecue. Bill was doing a competition down there in Seguin, so hey, the family and I, we were already down south and checking out another friend of mine that had a pop up, Estrada's Texas Barbecue. A video will be coming out on that soon. But yeah, we ended up jetting down to Seguin to go hang out with Bill and Rick, man, and it was a great time. It was a great time. Hey, Gallery Backyard, thank you for being here, brother. Eastwood Farms. Welcome, welcome. Man, I'm glad you guys so hey, I see my man Smoking Joe. Smoking Joe. All I need you to do, brother, is get on some of that ooh wee, pass out for a couple of hours so I can swing down there to El Paso and pick up that flat top grill, man. You know what I'm saying? That thing is a beast, man. It looks good, man. I see you doing some serious work on it, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Hey, Lewis, welcome to the stream, brother. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Oh, Rexy, what? Rexy's in here? Do we see Rexy in the house? I see y'all commenting Rexy. Where's Rexy? Okay, I see Rexy. What's going on, Rexy? Glad to have you here as well. So, all right. So, hey, anybody got any questions? What y'all want to talk about before we get into this? The things we need to consider about when we're going to buy a new grill. What y'all got? Dawgfatha's barbecue, get in line. Okay, okay. I see everybody chatting amongst each other, saying, hey, what's up? Greetings. I like that. I like that. Pickles just chilling. Pickles. Hey, so what was that I saw on Facebook, man? I saw something about, I think it was Facebook. It might have been IG. Something about you, you made some ribs or something for your subscribers, man. What was that about? We need a video stream on cheap offsets worth buying. You know what? You can do that. We could do that. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, tell you what. Where are you located? Number one, and do you have an Academy Sports and Outdoors near you? Nice, nice. So, John, you just finished a UDS today. Excuse me, guys. I've been saying I want to build a UDS, and I haven't done that yet. A buddy of mine has a few barrels and told me, man, whenever you want to do it, come get it. And, I was out there, like I said, with Chicken Fried Barbecue Bill out there at his barbecue comp, and, man, everybody had UDSs out there. Ah, so you made some racks and had made some racks for the subs, and they loved it. Yeah, they looked like they were having a good time with those, man. They definitely looked like they were having a good time. And Daddy Dutch, you bring up a great point. You can actually get you, some offsets that are relatively inexpensive. You can make them work for you. You just got to know how to do the correct modifications to make it as efficient as possible. I've been there, man. I tell you what, when I started, the very first smoker that I had was a New Braunfels smoker, and it was a Hondo. And man, that thing had air leaks all over the place. I mean, it was pretty wild. So I definitely had to do some modifications, around the cooking chamber with the door, making my own gasket. I wasn't sophisticated enough to go buy like the lava lock type gaskets that they make. You can order on Amazon or whatever. I actually made my own gasket and used some high heat silicone and put that around the door with the wax paper and close the door. You put a bead around the door or whatever, and you put wax paper over it, and you close the door down and let it sit in place until it kind of cures, and then you peel that wax paper off, and then you got a homemade gasket there. I started off doing that with that pit. I did that. I actually put landscaping pavers in the bottom of it to help out with the heat distribution. I just lined them with aluminum foil, and yeah, I did that. I actually also, because the in the cooking chamber where they had the exhaust vent, um, it was kind of put in the wrong place. If you've got your firebox on one side and you got your cooking chamber and then you got your smokestack coming out the top, you kind of don't want that inlet to the smokestack to be all the way at the top. You kind of want it down at cooking level. That way you can kind of trap some of that smoke and heat and radiate it inside that cooking chamber before it escapes. When you have it all the way to the top, it just basically comes out the firebox into the cooking chamber and straight out, and you kind of lose a lot of that goodness that does your cooking for you. And so I actually got it was kind of like the vent tubing or whatever for your dryer. It was kind of like that. And I actually put that in there to the smokestack and extended it down to the cooking grate, and that helped capture some of that smoke and heat, maintain it inside the cooking chamber a little longer to get my cooks done. So some of those little things, man, was what I did with a really inexpensive offset smoker to make it really work for me. So guys, there's tons of videos out there about modifications to old Oklahoma Joes and things of that nature. I actually had an Oklahoma Joe. Like I said, I started off with the New Braunfels. My next backyard pit was the Oklahoma Joe. And that one I had for many years and made a lot of good barbecue on it. It was a good smoker. And then graduated to the Lone Star Grills that you guys see in my videos now. And that's what I had on the backyard, man, on the backyard patio. So, man, hopefully that helps you there, Mr. Homeowner, as talking about doing some inexpensive offset smokers. You can definitely get away with doing it. You just got to try and make it as efficient as possible because let's face it, man, those things are made out of a lot of thin metal, and they're not going to be the most efficient. But hey, they get you in the game. They get your toes in the pool, so to speak, and so you can get in there and figure out how to swim with it. So it's not that big a deal, man. Go for it. Just cook. Get something and cook on it. All right, let me see what's going on here. Um, yeah, you're right. Pit life. A lot of deals in the season come, in the fall, and with Walmart, Home Depot, things of that nature. I do find, as I look around, I go to Home Depot, I go to Walmart, I go to Lowe's. I find that the best for me, my opinion, and I'm no shape, form, or fashion an authority or whatever, but my opinion, I think that I tend to find the better quality inexpensive pits at Academy. They have a brand there called Old Country Pits. They're actually my first trailer pit was built by Old Country, a guy named Alejandro out in Laredo. And man, that guy made a lot of great pits. I remember when he started, to put his pits in the academy. Those pits were not his top of the line pits, so to speak. They were made to go in academy and be in mass quantity or whatever. But they're a good start, man. They're a good solid start. There's different levels of pits that he has there. Some of them you can kind of see because they are the lesser expensive, or I guess should say lesser expensive pit. The quality on the craftsmanship with the welds and everything is not going to be the same as some of the top of the line stuff that he makes. But he makes a good, solid entry level pit. If you guys have an Academy Outdoors near you, go check him out. I think those pits are actually pretty decent. and you can modify those to man, they can work for you for years to come until you get your methods down, and then decide you might want to, graduate up to a more expensive or a better quality pit. So let's see. Tell you what I'm going to do is let's start to get into this list here. So what are the things to consider when you're going to buy a new cooker? And there's tons of different things. And guys, as I put this list together, these are just some of the things that I tend to think about. Again, I am not some sort of authority in telling you that, oh, these are the absolute, be all for what you're going to do when you're going to buy a pit. I'm just saying that these are the things that I kind of think of. And whenever I have friends come to me and say, hey, man, I want to get a new pit, what do I look for, this and that, the other, these are kind of the things that I start to tell them. And the first thing is, man, you got to figure out the number of people that you're trying to feed. You obviously don't want to, buy some little pit. And if you have designs of you're trying to, feed, 70, 80 people all the time or whatever, a little, Oklahoma Joe might not be the pit for you. You might need to get something a little bigger. So I think it's pretty important that you always figure out what it is that you're trying to accomplish. What is the, hey, grumpy old gringo, thank you for being here, Chief. I see you. And Side Yard Barbecue, thank you, man. Glad to have you. Yeah, you just you have to kind of know the audience that you're trying to feed with the pit that you end up getting. So I think that's probably one of the first things that I think about is what is the goal of this? How many people am I trying to feed? Is this just going to be for, me and the wife and kids? Is it just the immediate family? Is it going to be, I'm going to try to entertain people every weekend and have them over to the house and have big parties or whatever? So, that's kind of one of the things that I think about, guys, is, what size of pit am I going to need? So then one of the next things I think about is, hey, where am I going to put it? Is it going to be in the backyard on the patio? Is it going to be in my garage somewhere? Do I have a floating deck out in the yard somewhere? Am I going to put? I mean, I kind of want to know where am I? What are my designs as far as where am I going to put this pit? I don't want to, get something that's all super big and then not have the space for it. Because I mean, what are you going to do with it then? So you kind of want to think about where you're going to have it. Hey, Lonzo Cabarrus, Chief, glad to have you here, man. Guys, if you don't know about Lonzo, again, Lonzo is the guy that's Zoe's Custom and Crafts. He made a cooler for me. It's a big wooden cooler, customized, got my logos and everything on it, and it's on my back patio. And I promise you guys, I'm going to do another video with it where you can really see it in detail. But man, that guy does some great work with woodwork, man. And it's not just about coolers. He makes all kinds of things, whether it's customized Yetis and, Yeti cups or coolers or keychains or, what have you, man. So Zoe's Customs and Crafts, man, I'm telling you, look that guy up on Facebook. And definitely, if you have something in mind, holler at Lonzo. I've been knowing that guy for probably years. So we go way back. We go way back, man, way back to high school football, freshman football. But that's my man, Lonzo Cabarrus, guys. Hit him up if you need something made. Great guy. So, so let's get on to the next thing here, and we just covered, hey, what are the number of people? How many people are we gonna try to feed with this pit that we're gonna buy, and where are we gonna store it? So the next thing you got to look at is what's your budget? How much money are you looking to spend? You can spend a little bit of money or you can spend a whole lot of money. That just depends on, what your desires are, what kind of pit you want. You can go the inexpensive route, as we were just speaking about a little while ago, and just make modifications to make that pit work for you, which I highly, highly recommend if you're somebody that you're new to stick burning, whether it's, offsets or whatever. If you're new to it, man, get something kind of inexpensive to kind of hone your craft in. The worst thing I think you can do is go out there and buy, something that's really super expensive, all big and huge, and then you don't know how to operate it. That's not going to be fun for anybody. So you want to make sure you get something that it's gonna fit your needs, guys. It's gonna fit your needs. So, so let's see. Hey, that's right, Blue Smoke. Hit that thumbs up, man. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. So, let's see here. Catch up on some of this going on in the chat. Hey, Daddy Dutch is going to go live here a little later. All right, I like that. I like that. Hope Matthews. Hey, that's my daughter. What's up, future doctor? I'm glad to see you there. And you got your shout out, Hope, the Hopester, and Eden. Look at that. Me too. I see you, Eden. So, guys, if you don't know, Hope and Eden, those are my daughters. Those are part of my, they're part of the quality control department here at the Dawgfatha's Barbecue YouTube channel. So those are the ones that tell me if something's bad, they tell me. If something's good, they tell me. But, hey, glad to have you guys in the house. Sean R., what's cracking? Glad to have you here, Chief. Welcome to the Dog Pound. Welcome. All right, so as we stated here, we talked about the number of people you intend to cook with your cooker, with your new cooker, where you're going to store it, and what's the budget, you know? So next we want to know, the thing you want to think about is what style of cooking, you know, would you want with this cooker? You know, do you want to do a pellet grill? Do you want to do a gas grill? Are you looking at doing an offset, you know, a rotisserie? What style of cooking, you know, best fits you? You know, you don't have to be a stick burner. You know, a lot of us love stick burner. I love stick burning. You know, it's something about being able to manipulate that fire and keep the temperatures where I want it and all that, and be interactive with my cook throughout. Some people don't want that. Some people want to be able to be closer to set it and forget it. I'm never going to tell you anything is set it and forget it, to include a pellet cooker. I will never ever set it and forget it on a pellet cooker, but that's just me. But hey, man, I mean, you have to figure out what is your style of cooking. Um, I like I said, I stick burn. I use a pellet cooker. I use a I use a Weber kettle, and man, do not sleep on a Weber kettle. I promise you, if you're in the market looking for a new grill and you don't know what you want to do, start off by getting a Weber kettle. You know, if you're just making something like you just want to throw a couple of racks of ribs on, or a brisket on, or a pork shoulder or two on, and, you know, chicken or whatever, and it's just you and the family, and man, start off with a Weber kettle. You know, they're relatively inexpensive. There, you can set it up to do minion methods or snake methods, or use a slow and sear, or you know, a myriad of different things that you can do, that you can extend cooks and just, you know, put a brisket on. You know, I've been able to set up my Weber kettle and slap a brisket on there, man, and hold temperature solid for, you know, a good 8, 10, 11 hours. It just really depends. If I use a slow and sear and use a party Q fan that I have for mine, I might even run it a little longer than that. So Weber kettles are definitely great cooking utensils if you're getting started, guys. Please don't sleep on it, because I promise you, with all the toys that I have here, I've got a reverse flow trailer pit. I've got my my Lone Star grills you guys see on my videos on the back patio. I got my pellet. I cook a lot on my Weber kettle. You would be amazed at how much I actually cook on the Weber kettle. Obviously, if I'm cooking big cooks and I gotta, you know, put on 10, 12 briskets or whatever, and, you know, a bunch of real, obviously I can't do that on a Weber kettle, and I break out my, you know, my trailer or my LSG. But man, if I'm just playing around and wanting to make a brisket and try a different rub or this and that and the other, I will absolutely pull out that Weber kettle and slap a brisket on there. Cook it like it's nothing. So don't sleep on the Weber kettle, guys. That's actually a great grill to get started, and they're relatively inexpensive. I think when I bought mine, I got a couple of Weber kettles, and I think I spent $80 for them. You know, $80 each when I bought them. So definitely take a look at Weber kettles if you want to learn how to cook, you know, briskets or whatever. I've got a couple of videos out, and there's videos all over the place, you know, from all these guys that are over here in the chat that do Weber kettle cooks. So, and if you don't know, guys, again, in the chat, any name you see, click on the three dots to the right of their name and go to their channel if you want to check out what they have and subscribe to their channels as well. Uh, you go do that, hit that subscribe, hit the bell notification to get notifications whenever they upload a video, and then come right back. So yeah, definitely Weber kettles, man. I'm telling you, there's so many toys you can involve with a Weber kettle, which really reeled me in because I'm that type of person that I don't say I'm not gonna say I get bored cooking, but I love being able to have a variety of different things to cook on, and so that Weber kettle definitely does that for me. And you're right, you right, Smoking Joe. That Weber kettle is a badass grill. That's right. You're right. Simple Man, yes sir. That Weber kettle is where it's at, man. It really is. I do not, Sean R. I do not have a Weber 26, but it doesn't seem to really. It doesn't get hot like the 22. I imagine it's bigger, so it maybe takes more fuel, more coal. I don't know. That's right. My man Smoking Joe is getting close to that 2,500, guys. So hey, if you are not subscribed to Smoking Joe, man, get over there and subscribe to Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue. Trust me, you will not be sorry. I mean, that guy, he he smokes and cooks a lot like I do, and very similar style, man. And but he just got a little bit cooler toy than I do. So I might have to catch up. We'll see. I might have to take a road trip to El Paso and get those hand-me-downs, Joe. Yeah, Smoky Joe's barbecue. Hey, man, I can tell you, brother, I want a pit barrel cooker. I'm actually gonna go this Saturday. The plans are I'm gonna go hook up with James from Aim 'em and Claim 'em Smokers and T. Roy Cooks, and man, I'm gonna cook on T. Roy's pit barrel cooker, that PBC. So I don't have one yet, so this is gonna be kind of fun to take some ribs or some chicken over there and slap it on that PBC and see what it does. And man, I might end up having to go get one after this cook. I don't know, so we'll see. But I'm very intrigued with the PBC. Also I'm intrigued with the UDS, which if you have a UDS, I'm sure you could probably do a very same style of cooking on a UDS. So, but I definitely I definitely want to check out a PBC. Let's see. I love the space, but I missed my 22. Set it on the curb, and it was gone before I was able to change my mind. Dude, man, even I look on Craigslist all the time, and look and see what's being sold out there. Whether it's a kettle or a 26-inch kettle or what type of offsets. And man, I'm always looking at stuff too, man. So yeah, I imagine if you put that bad boy on on the curb, I don't even think people will wait for you to get back in the house. I think as soon as you turn your back, man, they're probably gonna be dragging it off that curb into the back of their truck. So I think when you put a Weber kettle out there, you gotta mean it. But yeah, that's how hot those things are, man. I mean, and there's people that collect those things, man. I mean, I thought I had a lot of grills, but man, I tell you what, my man Justin over at Baby Back Maniac, that dude's got like a Weber playground in the backyard. But I just want to go over there and just play with every single Weber kettle he has. I'm telling you. So yeah, Ugly Drum Smoker, that's right, Ricks. Man, I tell you what, you guys, man, y'all had those UDSs over there just humming along at that barbecue competition in Seguin, and man, I I'm gonna do one of those UDSs one of these days. I promise you on that one. And so yeah, that's the first thing I noticed, Daddy Dutch. When I first saw a pit barrel cooker, I was at a Bucky's gas station. Here, if you guys don't know about Bucky's, Bucky's is almost like a religion in Texas, man. It's like you pull up to this gas station, and it's not just a gas station. You might pull up to this bad boy, and it's got like 50 or 60 freaking gas pumps and bathrooms. You walk in, and it's got probably 50 stalls in the bathrooms, or whatever, and it's all super clean. And I mean, people just love Bucky's. But the last time I was at a Bucky's, I saw a pit barrel cooker there, and I had no idea they were that little when I saw them in person. They're really not that big, but from what I hear, they are cooking machines when it comes to ribs and chicken. So Man, I'm telling you, I am super intrigued, and one of these days I'm gonna pull the trigger on one of those. I'll tell you that. Hey, John, I see you gotta go, brother. Thank you for being here, man, and hey, enjoy the rest of your night, Chief. So you got your pit barrel cooker off Facebook Market, paid 100 bucks. Yeah, dude, man, you should have went and bought a lottery ticket that day. Cause I tell you what, I haven't seen one on a marketplace over here yet, and I've been looking, but I haven't seen one yet, man. So that's cool, man. Hey, Thunderstruck Barbecue, what's cracking? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're a part of the Dog Pound. If not, click on that logo down there in the bottom corner and become part of the Dog Pound, Chief. Welcome for being here. Welcome. Whatever cooker you get, it's all about getting to know your cooker, become one with your cooker. That is definitely true. Definitely true. Any cooker that I get, man, whenever I go to season that bad boy, I'm becoming one with it. I need to know what my temperatures are all over the place in relation to whatever might be on the dial, wherever they put it, and I don't feel the need that I need to put gauges all over the place. I just do it relative to whatever I see on that gauge. So I learn my different zones. If the gauge is up here at the top and it tells me it's 275, I might know because I measure with oven thermometers or whatever temperature measurement units I use at the grate, and know, hey, it's actually 250, 25 from whatever that thing says. And that's kind of how I figure out my temperatures throughout my pit. So that's what I do. I'm sure a lot of you guys do the same thing. Hey, Benji, what's cracking? I see you at work, but man, I see you sneaking in here on the sly. I appreciate you, man. Glad you're here, Chief. A couple months ago, I saw someone took an old metal filing cabinet and made a vertical smoker. Kept the drawers and everything. I've seen a few of those online. Actually, I've never actually seen one in person. But man, that's some creativity, man. I mean, hell, I've heard of people making them out of bathtubs and refrigerators, and that's a lot of creativity, man. I guess as long as you can keep some heat and smoke in it, and keep feeding it, hey, I guess it'll work. All right, Thunderstruck. He's part of the Dog Pan, and first time in the stream. Well, man, hey, I'm glad to have you here, Chief. Glad you're here. What about the barrel house? You know what, Grumpy old Green? I've never actually used the barrel house cooker, so I really don't know much about them. I really don't. Sounds like I might need to go back and do a little bit more homework, man. So, all right. So, last we spoke of here, guys, is what style of cooking you want to do. Like we said, pellet grill, gas grill, offset smoker, rotisserie, etc., etc. So, yeah, those are things that you want to think about when you're about to get ready to buy your new grill. And one of the most important things for me is to understand what accessories come with the style of cooker that I'm going to use. If, like I said earlier, if I'm using a Weber kettle, guys, if you don't know, Weber kettles, they have a ton of different accessories that you can buy to expand the usage of this Weber kettle. It's not just for back in the day, oh, we're just going to slap some burgers and some hot dogs on the grill and call it 4th of July. No, dude, you can do a whole lot with Weber kettles nowadays. To give you an idea, for me, I've got the Vortex. The Vortex is a cylindrical device that you put in the bottom of this Weber kettle, and you put your hot coals in there, and man, you put that grate on, and you slap some chicken around, some wings, or what have you. The very center of that grill is going to be super hot, and it's going to radiate that heat straight out of that Vortex into the top of that Weber kettle dome, and it's going to circulate, and it basically makes that thing like a convection oven. It is absolutely fantastic on chicken. You talk about making some crispy chicken wings or chicken thighs or leg quarters or what have you on the Weber kettle. Man, get you that barbecue Vortex. You will not regret it. I use that thing all the time. Again, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you probably see, man, I post a lot of pictures of a lot of different chicken wings that we make because that thing is just that great. So yeah, barbecue vortex is a very solid accessory to get with your Weber kettle. The next is the slow and sear. You know, that thing you can load up with charcoal. And you know, the way that I set mine up, if I'm gonna, you know, if I'm gonna do a brisket, so to speak, I might light up, you know, 15, 20, you know, briquettes, get them hot, put them in the side corner of this. It's basically kind of a semicircle shape, and I'll put like in one corner of that semicircle. I'll put those lit coals in there, and then put the rest, you know, fresh charcoal, and place some wood chunks throughout. And it's got a little water trough there that I'll put some steaming water in there. And man, slap my brisket on there, and that thing will slowly burn across and give you hours and hours and hours of a good solid temperature to get your smoke on, whether you're smoking a brisket, whether you're smoking a pork shoulder, you know, ribs, or what have you. You know, on the flip side of that, hey man, if you want to, you know, reverse sear, you guys know how I get down with a tomahawk steak. You know, I like that big, thick tomahawk, 2 to 3 inches thick. You know, whatever it might be, 3, 4, 5 pounds of tomahawk steak. Reverse sear it, put it in that Weber kettle with that slow and sear. Smoke it slow in the first part of that, you know, up to 110, 115 degrees, and then add my charcoal and wood in there to kick it up even further. And I slap that tomahawk right over the coals, man, so you can sear that thing right off. Hence, slow and sear. So yeah, that slow and sear, man, is an awesome accessory to go with that Weber kettle. So another one, man, is you guys have probably seen me using is that Gabby's Grill Santa Maria attachment. You know, if you like Santa Maria style cooking, you know, where you raise the grate up and down away from the coals, you know, away from the coals to get cooler, or to the coals to get hotter and sear things off. Man, that's a fantastic attachment. Use that quite often. You know, there's even a pizza oven attachment. You know, you got kids, you want to make pizza on the grill, dude. If you haven't seen it, go to my channel, go check out my uploads. I've got a video on there where I did pizza. You know, there's plenty of videos out there. You can do pizza on the Weber kettle with this kettle, you know, pizza attachment. And we're talking getting temperatures up there well over 500 degrees. We're talking 600, 700 degrees. You get that nice cheese and everything bubbling, and it's just like being in a regular brick oven, you know, pizza oven. So dude, there is so many attachments you can get with a Weber kettle. So it's not just, don't look at the Weber kettle and think, oh, that's just, I can only do burgers. No, man, you can do a lot of different things on a Weber kettle, which why, you know, is why I say, don't go to sleep on a Weber kettle, man, for the backyard use. Trust me, it's a fantastic grill to use, whether you're smoking or grilling, guys. So that's when you really want to check out. You know, hey, outside of you know, Weber kettles. You know, some of the grills that I have a M16 grill, you know, which is, you know, it's a steak cooker, but I can, you know, because I have my concepts down, I know how to use that thing for several other, you know, things that I want to cook. So I can actually slow smoke a steak on there before I kick up the temperatures and sear it off. You know, whether you're using a Weber kettle or a M16, as I mentioned, or a gas grill or whatever, another fantastic accessory to use, grill grates. Guys, if you don't know about grill grates, check out the video that I just released here Saturday for hashtag Grill My Cheese. I actually did my grilled cheese sandwich on the grill grates, and that thing will give you some killer, you know, hash marks on whatever you're cooking, especially on steak. So, and like I said, you can put grill grates on just about any grill that you want to. So that is, it's an awesome accessory to have if you don't have it on whatever grill that you're using now, and you know, like to grill your steaks or burgers or what have you. And understand that on the grill grates, you can cook on either side. I know you have channels on the top side, you know, you think, oh, this is the side I'm supposed to cook on. Well, you can cook on the bottom side too. And basically, when you flip it over, you'll have a flat surface with a bunch of little holes. You can actually grill your burgers and everything right on the bottom side of those grill grates. And it's just like doing it on, you know, a cast iron skillet. You know, you just have a long flat surface when you know, put the pieces together. And man, that's Grill grates they're a fantastic attachment or accessory to add to whatever cooker that you're using, guys. So make sure you keep these things in mind, man. When you're about to go out and buy a grill, you kind of want to know what you're going to use it for and what are the capabilities that I can get out of it. You know, if maybe I can get away with spending a little less money and get this because I have all these different attachments that I can use versus if I spend a little bit more money and man, I'm locked into only one thing. And if that one thing is all you want to do, go for it. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying these are things you kind of maybe want to think about as you go and decide what it is that you want to use your different cookers for. So yeah, hopefully this is helping you guys here. That's next on your list there also. What is that? Is that the Slow and Sear, the Gabby's Grills, the Grill Grates? What? A Watchman, Smoky Joe's Barbecue. Good God, I want a Watchman. I'm not sure what that is, Chief. A Watchman? Man, y'all hitting me with stuff. I'm gonna have to do some research tonight. I see. Okay, okay. Let's see. Hey, Alton, I just had a cook-off this weekend with Brother James. Oh, okay, okay. Man, I saw that. You guys, what was that? Like, oh, it was like 10th and brisket, and oh man, I can't remember everything there, but I know, yeah, I remember James was saying he was going down to Mathis and go cook with some guys down there. And I did see that you got all your tickets pulled, man. That was awesome, dude. That was awesome. Great stuff. That old James, man, he's a cooking fool, man. Yeah, also grill grates, man. I'm telling you. Now, I will say this as I partake in the jug right quick. I will say this: be careful with your grill grates. Um, man, one time I pulled the grill grates out of my M16 steak cooker, and I'm gonna clean them. And so what I did was I fired up my Weber kettle, pulled the rack side of it, threw some wood in there, and got a nice, really hot fire going. And took my grill grates and tossed them in. And I have some welding gloves that I use, and so I would grab the welding gloves and pull the, grill grate out and kind of brush it and pop it back in there, get the next one, pop it back in there, let it keep burning stuff off. And yeah, I got sidetracked and left my grill grates in the kettle burning. Came in the house doing whatever it was I was doing, and went back out about 20 minutes later and went and grabbed my grill grates and they melted. Imagine that. They are made of aluminum, so hey. The way they work, they lock together in pieces. They're a tongue and groove type thing, and I had some of the edges where the the tongue and groove parts were melting. So the grill grates that I have for that M16 are 4 pieces, and one piece was just so mangled I couldn't even use it. I had to toss it out. But it left me with 3 pieces, and one side of it was melted, but the other side wasn't. So I could lock it into the other 2 pieces, and so I had 3 pieces, and it works out perfect if I want to use that on my Weber kettle, and that's what I used when I did that hashtag grill my cheese. So I was able to salvage 3 pieces of it, of the 4, and put it on my Weber kettle. I ordered a new set of 4 for my M16, and man, kept it moving. But if you get them, be careful because they can absolutely melt if you apply way too much heat to them. So just something to think about. So Thunderstruck says they got 8th in brisket. Okay. 8th in brisket, 7th in chicken, and 5th in ribs. Man, that's awesome, dude. That is so awesome. Man, one of these days I'm going to get out there with James and just kind of go hang out when he does a cook and, help him if I can. But I'm just, man, I tell you what, I'm not a competition cook. I'm not knocking those guys because what they do is artistry, and to be under the gun like that and you have to make a product that, you're trying to compete with, however many other teams, and man, it's some good stuff, but I just, man, I can't I can't do it. I can't do it. But hey, congratulations to you guys on that cook off, man. That was great stuff. I actually, I don't know if you had heard me earlier, but I actually went over to Seguin to go hook up with Rick's Blackstone and Barbecue and Chicken Fried Barbecue. They did a cook off in Seguin, and so went to go hang out with them. And actually, I believe they had all three of their tickets pooled too. So they did it, and it was Bill. That's who it was. Bill got 10th in brisket. Sorry, I confused that with you guys, but I think he got 10th in brisket, and then chicken and ribs placed higher. Man, congratulations to all you guys, man. It sounds like all y'all had a great weekend this weekend, cooking up some fantastic barbecue and man, taking some money from somebody. So good job, man. So also is about to go live. I hear you going live at 8 o'clock, Chief. Okay, okay. Tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. I still got another item here. Let's see. So we just spoke about different accessories, that you want to use for your cooks for your new cooker. Again, we talked about cooking accessories, but hey, there's covers and utensils and starters and all kinds of stuff. You just kind of want to keep all of this stuff in mind, man, because you know what? Face it, that stuff is going to add to deficit in your budget that you're going to have for whatever cookie you decide to purchase. So keep that stuff in mind. The next one is how fast are you going to outgrow this cooker? If you downsize for pricing, say, hey, I'm going to get a smaller cooker, because I don't have the money right now. I'm telling you, save your money. Get a Weber kettle for now and stack your money. Again, Weber kettle you can get for $100. Get that Weber kettle, man, and work on it and play with it and cook stuff on it and keep stacking your money later so that you can go out and buy what you want to do. So you do what you have to do at the beginning so you can do what you want to do at the end. Dave Ramsey right there. Shout out Dave. But hey, do what you got to do right now so you can do what you want to do later. That's how I started. Like I said, that first New Braunfels smoker, I bought it from one of my coworkers for $50. And that's how I started, So, man, you can find a great cooker anywhere. You just have to understand, like I said, how to modify it and make it work for you. So you can absolutely do that, guys. You can absolutely do that. So, and again, the last point that I wanted to bring up, which we pretty much have already kind of talked about, is if your budget isn't where you want it to be, then what are the alternative cookers you can get into? And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the Weber kettles and a WSM, a UDS, a pit barrel cooker. All of these things are, a few $100s, but they're not thousands of dollars, guys. Some of these cookers out here, let's face it, man, they're freaking car note. Some of them are really up there. If you want to get into a Moberg, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you quite a bit. Close pits, gator pits, all of this stuff, man. They're not cheap. So understand what you want out of the cooker before you go and purchase it. Understand what are the number of people you're going to be cooking for, and how much stuff am I going to be cooking on, how much stuff am I going to be cooking for, whatever. And there's all these different little factors that you really want to think about because the last thing that you want to do is go out and spend a lot of money on a pit and then realize 2 weeks after you got it, yeah, this isn't the pit that's gonna work for me. So you don't want to end up that way, guys. So make sure you put a list together. I know when you go through the stores and you see all these sales and bells and oh man, I gotta get this. You gotta stop and think, is this really gonna work for me? If it's not, it might be a good deal, but it might not be the right deal for you. So consider what it is you need out of that cooker before you go and make that purchase. Make that purchase count, guys. And again, if you can't purchase what it is you want, then you know what? Get what you can to get your foot in the door as inexpensively as you possibly can, understanding that you're going to upgrade from this thing. There's a lot of good sources out there, whether you go to Walmart, whether you go to Home Depot, whether you check Craigslist, whether you hit garage sales, whatever it is that you decide you want to do, as long as you have your goal in mind as to what it is you're trying to get out of that cooker, you're going to be fine, man. You're going to be absolutely fine. So, Rick says, Bill got 10 in brisket, 8th in ribs, and 7th in chicken. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. So pit life, hey man, I appreciate that. Man, I'm just trying to help, dude. I know how I get when it comes to pits. I get all excited and like a little kid in a candy store or a kid on Christmas morning waiting to open up presents, and that's how I get anxious like that, man. When it comes to new pits, and as many pits as I've gone through, and I still have, and I still get excited for stuff like a PBC. Man, I can't wait to get my hands on one. So Thunderstruck, do I go live on every Monday? No, sir, I don't. It just so happens that I did go live last Monday, and I was able to go live this Monday. Um, with the job that I have, my schedule is kind of crazy and all over the place. So as I know what I'm gonna do for the next week, I will probably get the event up and say, hey, I'm gonna go live on this day or what have you, and hopefully the next time I get it scheduled, I won't have issues with YouTube getting to that correct link the way that it seemed like I was having today. I'm actually using a different encoder here, so I'm not even on YouTube right now, and this thing kind of links through YouTube, and it was just kind of a mess tonight. But man, hopefully it won't do that again in the future. We shall see, but we'll get the kinks worked out. But definitely, add the on my subscription. Hey, click on that bell, add those notifications so that you always get updated. So whenever I put up a video or whenever I schedule something. And actually, I'm not sure if when I schedule an event, if you get a notification on YouTube, but I think it'll actually show up on your home screen or wherever where it shows you subscription material or whatever. So once you see that, just hey, click that set reminder, and it'll let you know that hey, Dawgfatha is going to go live today. So yeah. So Blue Smoke, I appreciate you, man. Good sound advice tonight. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. And guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, that is definitely one guy that you want to subscribe to. Blue Smoke, my man is putting together a nice little barbecue show. That's gonna be. Is that gonna be this fall, Blue Smoke? I can't remember when you're actually gonna release it. But man, the promos for it look really cool, and man, I hope to be a part of that at some point, man. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like you're probably going to have a lot of good talent on there too. So I would definitely be honored to be a part of that at some point. So Joe's Smokehouse and Barbecue, that's my LSG brother right there, man. What's cracking? Man, I'm telling you, you got that LSG, man, and I was just grinning ear to ear for you when I saw that video of you, seasoning that thing up, and I could just see how you were, so much, joy to just have that thing, man. And it was awesome, dude. It was awesome. But I got to ask you, brother, how in the hell did you get that pit on that deck? I can tell you, man, when I got my LSG, this thing, oh my gosh, it's a beast. And I know when we got it out of the crate and we started the wheel, and I got the upgraded wheels on this thing, right? Not the wheels. He didn't even have the wheels that he has today with the big off-road package, whatever. The ones that I got were like the big 5-inch wheels or whatever they are. Man, I tell you what, soon as that pit rolled off that cement and hit the ground, man, you talk about sinking in the ground, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So we literally, it took 4 of us, we had to take the crate apart, and we placed the sidewalls of the crate and had to walk this thing slowly all the way around the back of the house. And then I had to take the rails out that was built in the crate where the wheels sat in and use those to go across pea gravel by my hot tub and up onto the patio. Now, once we got it onto the patio, it rolled around like it was nothing. But man, it was hell getting it back there. And I told my wife, I said, yeah, if we sell this house, I think that thing's gonna stay here. So I don't know, man. Seeing where you had yours, I was like, man, how in the hell did he get that thing up there? But man, welcome to the LSG family, brother. Glad to have you. So let's see. Jimmy Q, what's cracking, dog? What's cracking? Glad to see you here tonight too, man. And Blue Smoke says that show is gonna premiere this fall, guys. So, man, tune in to Blue Smoke Barbecue Late Show and man, see what he's got coming up. Cause I'm telling you, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. So, hey. So I'll tell you what, guys. As always, if you don't know, whenever I end my live streams, it doesn't mean the party has to end. It just means I'm getting off camera. I'll play some music or whatever so you guys can continue to chat amongst yourselves. I might jump in and continue chatting with you until we end the stream. But the Dogfather's got to get ready to end this thing because I got an early flight in the morning. So we're gonna head out to Vegas here for a couple of days, a little R and spend some Fourth of July in Las Vegas. So hey, stay tuned on the notifications because the Dogfather just might go live in Vegas this week. You never know. I don't know. We kind of looked up a couple of barbecue places, and it's still up in the air whether or not we actually are gonna make them to those places. But we're gonna have some fun wherever we decide to go in Vegas, and so hey, we might go live, guys, and hopefully you guys can be there with us. And Pit Life, man, I appreciate that, man. It should be a lot of fun. I've only been to Vegas one time before, and so this will be our second trip to get out there and hey, spend some time in Vegas. So you never know, man. You never know. And Alonzo, appreciate you on that, Chief. I appreciate you. And again, guys, if you need some woodwork, crafts, merchandise, some Yeti cups, personalized, engraved, all of that type of thing, man, I'm telling you, go check out my man Zoe's Custom Crafts on Facebook. Okay? So, guys, it's been fun. I really appreciate all of you being here. And hey, there's only one thing left to say, right? Dogfather's out. Peace.